TechWafer, and in this video we are going to unbox, yes, you guessed it right, the Oppo's F15. It is recently launched and it has 6.4 inches display that carries an AMOLED panel, not an IPS one that is usually provided in this price segment. And that's not just it, it also has an on-screen fingerprint scanner that works pretty well. Moving on to the specification, it has 8GB of RAM, 128GB of internal storage, and that's powered by Helio P70 chipset. The cherry on the top is its 48 megapixel quad camera setup, but we will test that for sure in the review video. And now moving on to the unboxing table, and here we go. Okay, so now we are at the unboxing table and it's time to unbox the Oppo's F15. So let's get on with it, but first let's check out the details they have mentioned on the box. And speaking of that, the Oppo's F15 has 48 megapixel AI quad camera setup at the back with the support of VOOC Flash Charge 3.0 and an in-display fingerprint scanner 3.0, and along with that you're also getting a full HD plus resolution of screen, and that comes with an AMOLED panel rather than an IPS one. And the color that I'm having is lightning black. There are two color options available for Oppo's F15. One of them is lightning black, the color that I'm carrying, and the other one is unicorn white. And in terms of storage and RAM, this phone has only one variant that has 8GB of RAM and 128GB of internal storage, so there's nothing to discuss more about that. It supports up to 4G networks, so that's pretty much it. At the front, the branding of Oppo and the variant's information can be seen clearly. The name of the phone is also printed along with its design, and on the left and the right side, the logo of Oppo and ICC both are mentioned, and that shows that Oppo is in some kind of partnership with ICC. So that's pretty much it. Now we should dig into the box. Okay, so there we go. I would like to mention that this is my first ever Oppo smartphone that I'm going to unbox on this channel. Well, I've used some Oppo phones, and here we go. You are getting a lid at the top. Let's see what it carries. Okay, so it carries the SIM ejector toolkit. Along with that, you're also getting paperwork. And as per the tradition of my unboxing, I always say nobody cares about the documentation. And here's the silicone protector or the silicone skin for the Oppo's F15. It's pretty soft. There's nothing else in this lid, so let's throw it away. And now it's time for the Oppo's F15 itself, so let's get it out of the box. And before we unwrap it, let's power it on. And meanwhile it is turned on, we'll look into the other components they're providing in the box. So let's go. Let's press the power button. Okay, so the device is being turned on. Let's check out other components. And the next thing that you're going to find is a power brick, but it's only 20 watt. Considering Oppo's technologies, I think they should have added 33 watt or up to like 40 watts power brick along with this device, because it's kind of their mid-range flagship device. And considering that, Oppo should have provided a better power brick along with the F15. And next thing that you're going to find is this Type-C connector cable. And well, the colors of the Oppos are also embedded into the cable and the charger itself, so it's a good gesture that brands now cares to provide their branding onto the components, not just the smartphone. So I think it's a plus one for Oppo F15 too. The next thing is, I didn't thought of it, but not only the cable but also the hands-free that comes with the Oppo's F15 are branded with a green color, that's Oppo's shade. So considering this kind of branding and the shades, I'm pretty sure that this device is going to be cool. So that is pretty much it about the unboxing. Now let's get rid of these components and move on to the design and the software of Oppo's F15. So let's go. And speaking about the design, this phone carries a 6.4 inches display that is a Super AMOLED panel with the resolution of 1080p, so you are getting a full HD panel right out of the box. And that's not just it, you are also getting an on-screen fingerprint scanner, and that works pretty well too. And now moving towards the selfie shooter is housed by a view drop notch right at the top, and that is a 16 megapixel sensor with f2.0 aperture, so I'm pretty sure that's going to capture good selfies even in low light. Now speaking about the bezels, this phone carries quite thinner bezels on the left, right and the top. However, the bezels on the bottom or the chin are quite thicker comparatively. That's pretty much it about the screen. Now moving towards the right side, you will find a power button that is positioned pretty well. However, it's a bit clicky in terms of usability. And the position of the volume rocker is also good, but they are clicky too. And now here's my recommendation: brands should replace these clicky buttons with the softer ones, because they're not just clicky but they also require a little bit of force too. Now moving towards the back of the device, you are getting a quad camera setup, and one of them is a 48 megapixel sensor, the other one is an 8 megapixel sensor. Then you are also getting a 2 megapixel sensor which is a macro lens, and then there is a 2 megapixel depth sensor. And now moving towards the bottom, you will find this phone is carrying a single down-firing speaker along with USB Type-C connector and a 3.5mm headphone jack, and right beside it sits the microphone. So that's pretty much it about the design, but we missed the back. The color that I'm carrying is lightning black, and as you can see, it resembles to the pattern they named it after. There are these flares or the lightning curves, you can see they are visible, and it looks pretty elegant. So that's pretty much it about the overall look and the design of Oppo's F15. Okay, so now that we're done with the design of the device, now it's time to set up the software, and here we go. Now it's time to set up new Oppo phone and get started. There we go. Okay, so the device is ready for the usage. Now let's go to the settings as per this tradition, and now we're going to into the about section. Now speaking about the specification of this device, this phone carries 8 GB of RAM, 128 GB of internal storage. Out of that, 107 is available for the usage, and the software version that it has is Android 9.0. However, I have not unboxed device in the recent days that didn't have the Android 10.0 at least, and I would recommend Oppo to release an update for this device to be updated to Android 10.0 at least, because Android 11's beta version is already public. So it's not a good sign that you are getting Android 9.0 in this device. This phone carries Helio P70 processor, and I think that's not that much powerful, because the devices that comes in this range usually have the processor that is at least Helio P90. So I think it's a downside for Oppo's F15 that the processor isn't that powerful. And also speaking about the software, this phone carries Android 9.0 instead of Android 10.0. But I'm pretty hopeful that they are going to release an update for this phone very soon. And the ColorOS version that is running at the top of Android 10.0 is v6.1.2. So that's pretty much it about the specs of this phone. And now it's time to test the fingerprint scanner's performance. Okay, so let's go with that. It's quick, I think. Let's test once more. Okay, so as far as the fingerprint scanner is concerned, it is pretty quick. Now it's time for us to check the face unlock, and okay, so it's quick too. Okay, so as far as the fingerprint scanner and the face lock is concerned, both of them works pretty fast. And now it's time to open the camera app, and this phone carries the photo mode, the video mode and the portrait mode. There are only these three modes available on the main screen, and you can also access the night, the panoramic shot, the expert, time lapse, slow motion and the sticker mode in the menu at the left side. Apart from that, there is an HDR option and the beauty mode. Here's a tip: if you want to get the good result in the images, always disable the beauty mode in any smartphone. It doesn't matter which phone you are having. And now you are looking at the camera sample of Oppo F15. Let me know how did you find them in the comment section. And if you have any suggestions that would help me improve the quality of the videos on TechWafer, I'll highly appreciate those comments. Positive criticism is also welcome. You can criticize me as much as you can. Criticism that is positive helps the creators generate much better content. The pricing information of Oppo F15 can be seen on your screen right now. And with that being said, thank you very much for watching. Do not forget to like this video, share it with your friends and family. And if you'd like to watch a complete review, do not forget to subscribe to TechWafer. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram too, because I'm active on those and I update my daily stuff through stories on that. And with that being said, thank you very much for watching. Do not forget to like this video, share it with your friends and family, and also subscribe to TechWafer for more content like this. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned, be safe. See you in the next one. Peace out.